And yes, one more thing. Uh, in your school, if your teacher is providing you with some assignment, worksheets, or extra questions, okay, so you need to share it with me on my personal window. Because why I'm asking this from you, because once you give me the, like, you all are from different schools, right? So whatever your teacher is providing you, okay, in the form of assignment of worksheets, I'm going to combine it all, okay, so that everybody gets the question from different schools, right? So till now, like, anyone has got the assignment or the worksheet from the school, from any of the chapter? No, your teacher does not discuss questions with you. Only textbook questions she discusses with you.
I have the worksheet for life process. As far
Okay,
as I remember, I need to check whether I kept it.
okay. What about others? I think Garvit had sent me earlier the worksheet of control and coordination, I guess.
Yes, ma'am.
Huh. And Navda, in your school?
Ma'am, they do have worksheet. I'm not. I'll have to check where they are.
Huh, so please check and send it to me, because I'll be combining all those worksheets from different schools to provide you. Okay. Shivansh, what about you? Did you get anything from the school extra?
No.
No. So what your teacher, like, how she guides you, what she tells you to cover up?
Mom, we're reading the chapter right now. After this, we'll get worksheets.
Reading the NCRT textbook. And does she discusses the NCRT questions with you?
Yes.
Textbook question. Okay, that's all. Like, not other questions.
Mom, I'm saying we're reading the chapter right now. We'll get worksheets later.
Okay, for all the chapters.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, fine. So do share it with me, right? Once you get it, do share it with me on my personal window. Hmm. Okay. So I'm sharing it now, the PPT. One second. Huh. So the chapter is our environment. What is environment?
My surroundings.
Okay.
Anything found in our surroundings.
Hmm. That's environment. Okay. So basically, the living factors and the non-living factors all around us. Okay. Everything is the part of the environment, right? But then, so what it says, we have the word environment often being used on the television, newspaper, by the people around us. So it is the sum total of all the external factors, okay, that can be living as well as the non-living, right? So now, what happens when we add waste to the environment? What do you think?
It depends. If it is biodegradable, then it is profitable for the environment, and if it is non-biodegradable, then it give rises to the pollution.
Hmm. Okay. So giving the, obviously the harmful effects are there. Okay. If the environment is not clean, not hygienic, right? Just a second. I'll just shift this to uh, one second. Huh? So basically, we as humans, we are generating a lot of waste in our environment. Okay, so because of which it is responsible for the various type of pollution in our environment, such as water pollution, air pollution, soil pollution. Okay, so now if you categorize the waste, it can be categorized into two types, that is the biodegradable waste and non-biodegradable waste. So if I ask you what is biodegradable waste, what will you tell me? You must have studied this in your lower classes. Just give me a minute, children, okay? Yes. Anyone? Just go with the word and try to derive the meaning from the word itself. Biodegradable. Biodegradable. Yes, Jiftesh.
Ma'am, biodegradable waste are the waste that can be broken down by the natural bacteria.
Okay. Okay. Yes, you are right. So I want to correct you here. Bacteria is not a word. Okay. Bacteria is itself a plural form. Bacterium is a singular form. So
Okay.
you will not say bacterias, you will say bacteria. And this is for everybody. Okay. Everybody. We say bacteria. Bacteria is itself a plural form, right? And singular form of bacteria is bacterium, right? So biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste. Biodegradable, if you divide the word into two halves, it comes out to be bio and degradable. So basically the waste which are decomposed into harmless substances by microorganisms. Okay, the vegetable waste. Okay, the kitchen waste, right? The peels, wood, cereals, cotton, right? All these things, animal dung, all these things are the biodegradable waste. Example of biodegradable. Then comes the other category of the waste, that is the non-biodegradable waste. That means these are the waste which cannot be decomposed by the microorganisms like plastics, glass, rubber, polythene bags. So you know this, right? So what is, you should be knowing the examples. In exams, you can be asked about the examples of biodegradable or non-biodegradable waste. Okay. Then ecosystem. Let's talk about ecosystem. What is ecosystem and what are the components of the ecosystem? Okay. So what is ecosystem? Ecosystem consists of all the living organisms in an area along with non-living components and their interaction. Basically the sum total of living component and non-living component which are interacting with each other. This is what is ecosystem. Okay, so what is ecosystem? How are you going to define ecosystem? Ecosystem is the sum total of living as well as non-living component and their interaction. Okay, now there can be different types of ecosystems. There can be a natural ecosystem. Example, deserts, forest, mountain, ponds, lakes. These are the natural ecosystem where the organisms is naturally reproducing, living, okay, growing. So these are the natural ecosystems. Then you have the artificial ecosystem like gardens, parks, aquariums, zoo. These are the artificial ecosystems. Okay, now the ecosystem comprises of two components, and that is biotic and abiotic. Just go with the word and you will know the meaning. Biotic means living component, and abiotic means non-living component. Non-living component. Do you want to write something out of it or it's okay?
Ma'am, it's okay.
Till now what we have studied. Till now we have studied environment. We have talked about the types of waste, biodegradable, non-biodegradable with their example. We talked about ecosystem. We talked about the types of ecosystem. And now we are talking about the biotic and abiotic component of the ecosystem. Okay. So biotic are the living components like plants, animals, microorganisms. All these are the biotic components or the living components of the ecosystem. Out of these, some of them could be producers, some of them could be consumers, some of them could be decomposers. So before I start with all these things, can anybody tell me what is the meaning of producer, what is the meaning of consumer, and what is the meaning of decomposer? Very general words.
Producers which can like produce the final products, we can say, like plants, I guess. Consumers, we can say, as the animals or organism which consume the products made by plants, like herbivores, and then decomposers can be the ones who decompose the waste materials.
Exactly. So there is no doubt in all these terms. Producers, someone who is producing, like for example, the plants are the main producers. They are the only producers. Consumers, the one who is consuming it, one who is eating it. Decomposers is actually one who is responsible for the degradation of the waste material. Right. Now, producer, what they say, producer are green plants which produce food by photosynthesis. This you know very well. Right. Then consumers can be the herbivores, which get their food directly from the plants, carnivores, which get their food indirectly from the plant, and omnivores like us, who are getting the food directly or indirectly from the plants. So all these things are very general. You have already, I know you must have studied this in your lower classes. Yes or no?
Yes,
All
ma'am.
these are the general terms. Okay. Next, decomposers. Can anybody give me the example of decomposer?
Fungi.
Exactly. है ना? So the major decomposers. So the microorganisms which are actually decomposing the dead plants and animals, they are decaying the they are decaying the uh, uh, like you can say the dead matter or the waste, right? So they are actually decomposing the organic substance into simple inorganic substance in the soil, so that the plants can again use up those things for their growth and nourishment, right? Now let us talk about the abiotic component. You know the abiotic component, the non-living component of the ecosystem. What are the non-living component of the ecosystem? Simple: air, water, soil, minerals, sunlight, temperature, wind. These are the non-living components of the ecosystem. So we talked about ecosystem. What is ecosystem? Sum total of biotic and abiotic component and their interaction. Now let us talk about the biotic component. So biotic component, living component, comprises of producer, consumer, decomposer. Right. Coming on to the abiotic component, comprises of all the non-living components present in the ecosystem: air, water, soil, minerals, and so on. Right. Food chain. Now let us come to food chain. What do you know about food chain?
Ma'am, as the name suggests, a chain of the flow of food from one trophic level to another.
Exactly. Now, what is a trophic level? You said trophic level. What is a trophic level?
It's an energy level.
Okay. Okay. Fine. So what is a food chain? A food chain is the flow of food energy from one organism to the next and to the next and so on. It's a chain. Who eats whom? Okay, who eats whom? So basically the food chain, it will start from the main producer, that is the plant, and it will generally end with a carnivore. Right. So in a food chain, an organism gets food from the group of organisms. So we will be talking about the different levels of the food chain. Right. So suppose, let me show you that pyramid. Where is it? 1 second now. This. Okay. So this is the pyramid basically, which is telling you the different levels in the food chain. So it starts with the producer. Producers are the green plants. Okay, then it goes to the next level, the consumers, which are basically the primary consumers, which are deriving or getting their food from the producer. Then after primary consumer, there is another level of secondary consumer, which are dependent on the primary consumer for their food. And finally, we have the tertiary consumers, which are dependent on the secondary consumer for their food. So each level that you are seeing, this level, this level, this level, and this level, each level is known as the trophic level. These are the levels of the food chain. It starts from producer, then somebody is going to derive their nourishment, or they are dependent on their food from producers. The other one, the primary consumers, after that the secondary consumers, and then the tertiary consumers. Okay, so now let's come back to here. 1 second, I'll show you this. Okay, so each step which I showed you just now, each step in a food chain where the transfer of food energy takes place from one level to the another level is called the trophic level. Okay, each step. So I showed you the pyramid just now. So the each level, each step of that pyramid is a trophic level. Energy, food energy is getting transferred from one level to the next, and so on. So the first trophic levels, they are generally the producers. Second level is generally the primary consumers, then the secondary consumers, and then the tertiary consumers. Okay, now the transfer of food energy is taking place at each level. Okay, so the number of trophic levels are very limited. So they do not exceed from 4 to 5 because the transfer of energy is getting decreased every time, how we will see in the upcoming slides. The transfer of food energy from one level to the next, is actually resulting in the decrease of energy. Okay, decrease in the amount of energy. Now you see this. Green plants, which are the producers, they absorb 1% of the solar energy falling on them. And then they use that solar energy and they store it as the food energy during photosynthesis. So green plants are actually using only 1% of the solar energy, or they are absorbing 1% of the solar energy. So now the plants have absorbed that solar energy that will be transferred, that will be utilized by them, and then it will be transferred to the next level. So what will happen during the transfer of that energy? During the transfer of that food energy from one trophic level to the next, 90% of the energy is lost to the environment. Okay, as heat, it is lost to the environment as heat. Only 10% is transferred to the next trophic level. So if there are the producers at the base, so the producers are going to transfer the 10% of the food energy to the next trophic level. Okay, so there is decrease in the amount of food energy at every trophic level by 10%, and this is known as 10% law, which is important. What is 10% law? Who will tell me again? Okay, Shivansh, will you tell me, because this chapter is over in your class? Will you just brief me about the 10% law?
As you progress from trophic level to trophic level, you lose 10% of your usable energy, right? Like you don't lose energy per se. That's like very wrong to say. What you do lose is the amount of usable energy. It's sort of like you're going from lower entropy to higher entropy, right? So as you progress along these trophic levels, you lose usable energy. This usable energy, the should I call it an empirical observation? Because I mean, it can't be true all the time. But most of the time, as you progress from trophic level to trophic level, this usable energy decreases by 10% of the total. So that's the 10% law.
Exactly. So that usable, that energy gets reduced at every level by 10%. Remaining of that is lost in the form of heat, and many other processes are also going, like for example, growth is happening in the organism, reproduction is happening, cellular respiration is happening. So much of the energy is utilized in these processes as well. Okay, so the 10% which is left, which is the usable energy, as you said, Shivansh, right? So it gets transferred from one level to the next, and gradually, as it is progressing from one level to the next level, it is at every level getting reduced. Okay, so this is known as the 10% law, and on the basis of this, you will be having some mathematical questions also in the exam. Okay, so I have some questions from the sample paper. So I will be discussing it with you today. Okay, if we have time left. So this is 10% law. It's important, and you will be getting the question on the basis of this 10% law. Okay, to solve, basically to solve the question, right? So, okay, I'll give you a question, not now, later. Okay. Now, what is biomagnification? Biomagnification. Many of the harmful chemicals, yeah, very important. Let me mark it. Very important. Very important. You could be asked for the definition of biomagnification in your exam. Okay, so in the next slide, I have the definition of biomagnification. So you will write that definition in your notebook. Okay, so what happens, there are harmful chemicals being used a lot, like the insecticides and the pesticides. Okay, the use of them is to protect our plants or crops from the insects or the pest. So what happens, these pesticides, these chemicals, insecticides and pesticides, they will enter the food chain. Okay, they will enter the food chain, and because they are non-biodegradable, they cannot be degraded. So what will happen, they will end once they enter the food chain through soil, through water. So they will be, getting transferred to from one trophic level to the next, to the next, to the next, and they will keep on accumulating. They will keep on accumulating, and their concentration, because the highest level of the food chain is the humans, basically the humans, right? So humans have the major or the maximum amount of these harmful pesticides or chemicals in them. Okay, so it is not good for health, and this is known as biomagnification. What is biomagnification? The increase in the concentration of harmful chemicals in the bodies of organism at higher trophic level is called biological magnification. Biological magnification is when the amount of chemicals is getting increased in the organisms which are at the highest trophic level. Okay, the concentration of these chemicals is getting accumulated and getting increased, and this is known as biological magnification. Please write down this definition in your notebook, this complete, and mark it as very important in your notebook, because these are sprayed in the plants, they are in the soil, these chemicals are in the soil. Okay, and the plants are growing in that particular soil only. So obviously it will travel from the soil to the plant, these chemicals. And once it enters the plant body, once it enters the producers, obviously it is going to travel or transfer from one level, one trophic level of the food chain to the next, and so on. Right, so the concentration keeps on increasing and gets accumulated, and which is not good, and this is known as biological magnification. You will definitely get a question out of it in your exam. Please mark it as important and learn the definition. If you have written, just let me know so that I can move ahead. Okay, everybody, shall I move ahead? Okay. Okay, what is food web? By the way, what is food web? We know what is a food chain. What is a food web? Hmm. Yes, what is a food web? Group of interconnected food chains. Every particular like, it is possible that one organism can be eaten up by the number of organisms. Okay, it cannot always be a linear chain. Okay, it cannot be a linear chain. So there are organisms which can be eaten up by more than one organism. So then what happens, there are a lot of food chains that come into place and they get connected with each other. And together they form a food web. It's not always linear. Okay, it's not always a linear food chain. So the interconnected food chains are known as the food web. Okay, so what happens in a food web? In a food web, one organism gets food from more than one group of organisms. Like as you can see in the picture, it is a web of food chains. There are so many food chains which are interconnected with each other to form a web. So that's a food web. Okay, now you see this. I'm giving you one this, see this picture. Okay, see this picture, and now can you tell me why is it here written 1000, here 100, here 10 and 1? How it is
Loss of 10%.
changing?
Loss of 10%.
Ha, yes, 10% law. 10% law. So how you calculate it? Like, is everybody clear with it? That how are you getting this energy level at, like, how you got 100, how you got 10, how you got 1?
Yes, ma'am.
You all are studying maths, yes? You
Yes.
know, you need to calculate the 10% of it. 10% of 1000, then 10% of 100, 10% of 10, and then, okay? So basically 10% of the energy is getting transferred from one level to the next, right? Yes, Garvit, you have sent me something. Just a second, I'll just check. So emitting harmful chemical progressively shown the maximum volume. Yes, it is okay. It is right, but you need to make certain changes in it. I'm opening that slide of biomagnification once again. You can write it from there. See, you can take a screenshot of it if you want.
And this one was given by our teacher. So yeah.
Yeah, that's also correct. But just add highest trophic level, because it would be the concentration of these chemicals would be highest in the highest trophic level members. Okay, because at every level it is progressing. The concentration is progressing at every level. So the highest, the organisms which are at highest trophic level will have the maximum amount of it.
So ma'am, that I guess is written in the last. It's
Oh,
written like harmful
okay, one
chemicals at the
second.
last.
Yes, yes. Okay, fine, it's fine. Okay, okay. Okay, so till now what we have studied till now we have, okay, who will give me a quick recap of what we have studied till now? Just quick headings.
Ma'am, first we studied the ecosystem, and then about the producers and consumers, and then decomposers, and then about food chains and the food webs.
Okay, and biological magnification,
Yeah, and
10%
biological
law.
magnification and 10% law. Yeah.
It's very important. Okay, so okay, like, I think food chain and food web, so you all have studied in your lower classes, right? I think 10% law is new for you. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Food chain also you have studied, right? I think in class 8th, maybe.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Hai na? Okay. So next, what we have is, how do our activities affect the environment? What do you know about ozone?
It is a gas which is poisonous for all the living beings on the first layer of the earth, but then as we go up, it becomes helpful as ozone protects us from the UV radiation of the sun by like The UV radiation itself causes the formation of ozone, which in turn creates a barrier so that it prevents us from hitting the people living on the planet.
Yeah, again the very very, like I should say the mostly very common topic, that's the ozone layer or the ozone. So how it is formed? We write it as O3. Huh? Ozone is O3. How is it
O2
formed?
splits into O and O.
See
That's
this.
nascent oxygen.
See,
And then that combines with O2 gas to get O3.
exactly. Simple. Okay. So the UV radiation is actually splitting the O2 into O and O. And when this O is combining with the oxygen, it is forming the O3. That is the ozone. So we all have heard about ozone layer depletion. Okay, who will tell me that why the ozone layer is getting depleted? You can write this also if you want to, this equation for the formation of
CFCs are a big contributor.
CFCs. Yes, what is the full form of CFCs?
Chlorofluorocarbons.
Very good. Where is it found?
Refrigerators, fire extinguishers.
Exactly. Have you written this equation, everybody, so that I can move on the next slide?
Yes.
Okay. So yes, basically, the ozone is present in the higher layer of the atmosphere and is protecting the earth from the harmful UV radiations that are coming from the sun. And these UV radiations are the cause of skin cancer in humans. Okay, so basically it is protecting, it is a shield, it is protecting us. Okay, so that the UV radiations do not enter the earth, right? But the unfortunately this particular ozone layer is getting degraded, okay, by the use of CFCs. Okay, so now the role come the main function that, or you could say the main role should be performed by we humans to reduce the use of CFCs so that we can protect the ozone layer from getting depleted. Okay, so okay, that's it. Now how you manage the waste that is produced. Household waste is known as the garbage. Okay, now from this many type of waste is biodegradable. Some of it is non-biodegradable. How are you doing it? How are you managing the waste that is getting produced in your own houses?
Segregation.
Waste segregation. How waste segregation?
Organic things that are recyclable and non-recyclable.
Exactly. So you're keeping it separate. Okay. So there are some methods of garbage disposal also. But I want, before I start with it, I want you to just research on the different methods of garbage disposal first. And then I would be discussing in the next class. So this is your task. You need to find the methods of garbage disposal. Okay. Shivansh, because this chapter is done in your class, so could you please tell me the different methods of garbage disposal? You must be thinking why ma'am is after me.
I have no.
Okay, so your ma'am, I think it's not it's not in the syllabus. The methods of garbage disposal. Did she teach you in your class?
Oh, in the
So
NCRT part 13.2.2, there's nothing for managing garbage we produce.
Yeah, even we didn't learn it.
the
We didn't-
methods.
no, yeah, we didn't learn it.
Okay, so they must have taught you the general thing about the garbage disposal, like what is garbage and how you can dispose of the waste, organic waste and the non-organic waste.
No,
That's it, है ना?
no,
Hmm.
not even,
Hmm. Not even,
not even that.
not even this. Okay, okay. So is there anything extra that your ma'am taught you apart from this?
In our daily activities, we generate a lot of material that is thrown away. What are some of these waste materials? What happens after we throw them away? Let us perform an activity to find out.
Yeah, activities.
That's it. Done.
So like did she discuss the activity with you in the class?
Nope.
Oh, okay. So I think this chapter would have over in one class only, even in your school. है ना? So it's all general. So you can just give a quick reading of the NCRT, okay, of this chapter. So I think even if the question comes, you can write it in your own words also. It's a very general topic. Right. So let's discuss the question. That's the important thing. So I'm sharing some sample paper questions with you for this chapter. I have not prepared the, I have not combined all the sample papers. I have just combined the 3-year sample paper of this chapter because I'm working on it. So it will take some time. So let's discuss that only for now. Okay.
Ma'am,
So
in the heredity chapter, evolution part is deleted, right? Only
yes,
heredity.
yes, 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 yes. It's
Okay.
not there. It's not there. Okay, quickly answer this question to me. 4 questions.
I'm in the chat box.
1 second. Let me see what is the first question. Why is the maximum concentration of pesticide? No, this you can just orally, you can tell me verbally. Just raise your hand and tell me. Yes, Jiftesh.
Ma'am, so it is large in the human beings because the pesticides transfer from one tropic level to the other, and humans, as they are the final tropic level in the ecosystem, therefore the highest concentration is in the humans.
Yes, exactly. So basically biomagnification you have to explain over here. Yes, Navda, what you want to say?
I'm the second one.
Acha, second, okay. What is the second question? Various steps in a food chain represent?
Option B, traffic level.
Yeah, simple. Next question, with regard to various food chains operating in an ecosystem, man is a
Consume. Option.
right. Food web is constituted by
Option C.
C.
exactly. Now I'm sharing the sample paper question with you. Okay, just give me a second. It is only the 3-year combined sample paper for now. Okay, not all.
Can you send this on the WhatsApp group?
What?
Can you send the sample papers on the WhatsApp group?
Yeah, I have to send it. I have to send it. I have to send it for reproduction chapter also. I think I have not sent for reproduction, right? I have given you only for the first 2 chapters, as
Oh,
far as I remember.
yeah.
है ना? हाँ, so don't worry, I have to share it with you for reproduction also for heredity. Heredity, I think I have combined all. Yes, heredity I have combined all. For this chapter, I am like I have combined till 2021, I guess. So I'm working on it. So I will send it to you maybe by Monday. Okay.
Okay.
So you should like keep it safe with you, all the sample papers. Make a separate document in which you have all the sample papers with you. Okay. And do you also want the textbook questions?
No.
Tell me. Does
Like,
anybody?
you mean the solutions of the NCRT
Yeah.
exam?
Do you also want that?
No.
No. Okay, so I will, because apart from the sample paper questions, I would be sending some more questions to you. Okay. So for that, the PDF would be separate. For sample papers, the PDF is separate. Okay. So just a second, I'll just share it with you. Okay. Yes, I hope the screen is visible to everyone.
Yes, ma'am.
read the question and then drop the message in the chat box. The answer. Drop the answer in the chat box. This is the question from this year's sample paper, recent. Okay. So I have got one message, one answer. Okay, I have got it from Garvit. Okay. You need to tell the reason also for A part. Justify your answer. And then for B part also you need to reply. Jiftesh, please check your answer once again.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I got it from Navda. I got it from Garvit. From Jiftesh also. And there are 7 students in the class. Hriday, Ishan, Suhani, Shivansh. Okay, Hriday, I got the answer from Hriday also. Okay, Hriday, fine.
Ma'am, in the B part, are we asking in between the chameleon and the snake, there has to be 2 more organisms? Is that what they're saying?
1 second, is it possible to have just a second, huh? I'll see. 2 more trophy. Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Just before the 4th trophic level. Yes. Okay, who else has replied? Garvit has replied 10%. Okay. Shivansh has replied. Okay, for A part, for B part, Shivansh. Then Ishan has replied for A part. Okay. For B part, Ishan. And Garvit, you also have to send the answer for B part. Okay. No, okay, I've got it from Shivansh. Others, please complete the answer. You have to reply for B part as well. Those who haven't. Okay, got it from Navda. Okay, so I think let's.
1 minute, finishing my answer.
Sorry.
Oh, I'm finishing my answer 1.
Oh, okay. Okay, what happened today? Exactly. Yes, Shivansh. This is the answer.
Even I sent mine of B.
Okay, you have also sent it. Yeah, I got it, got it, got it. Fine. So everybody is correct. You all are correct. Jivtesh, are you writing something?
Done.
Yeah, answer because I never always.
It's
Okay,
the half of it.
okay. So let's discuss the question. Everybody is correct. So see, if the amount of energy available at the third trophic level is 100 joules at the third trophic level, okay, third trophic level is 100 joules, then how much energy will be available at the producer level? So
Is it
you know
1,000 joules?
how much?
1,000.
1000 or
As per.
1000 or 10,000?
Oh, sorry, 10,000.
है ना? So like you need to start from the producer level, and then you know that at every level 10% loss is happening. Okay, like 10% is going. So from that you can calculate the previous level energy. So it comes out to be 10,000. And then justify your answer. The answer is 10% law. Is it possible to have two more trophic levels in this food chain just before the fourth trophic level? Justify your answer. No, because the loss of energy at each step is so great that very little usable energy will remain after fourth trophic level. Obviously, you can even calculate it. If you will calculate it by 10% law, then at the last level, like it's very less energy is left. So you cannot have more trophic levels because it's already going down. Okay. So no, the answer is no. Okay, next question. A lot of waste is generated in neighborhood. However, almost all of it is biodegradable. What impact will it have on the environment or human health? Yes. Tell me, what do you think? Lot.
Ma'am, it can cause a lot of smell because it's biodegradable, so it will be degrading. Also, it can like attract many flies and and generate mosquitoes, like lead to the making
Exactly.
up. So it can just cause like diseases in the surrounding area.
Okay. Anybody else who want to answer this question? Or you agree with Garvit? Yeah, he's right. Okay, because obviously a very foul smell will result because of this waste, and the accumulation of it is actually forming the breeding ground for the germs and insects, and that's not a very hygienic condition. It's
Mom,
really unhygienic, and it can cause into lot of diseases. Yes, Jiftesh.
but say for example, if I'm decomposing a lot of biodegradable waste and alongside I'm planting a plant with it, so is it in that as the plant grows, it will take up the nutrients from the compost which the bacteria have made. So there are chances that if, for example, if it the compost is at the center and the plants are somewhere away from it, so the roots will get attracted towards the compost because they can get some feelings like the chemical attractions because they can
But
communicate.
uh, but don't you think it will take a lot of time?
Like usually, as far as I remember, biodegradation takes 4 to 5 days, and till that time, if they get to know, then that is quick. Otherwise,
No,
chances are low.
it will take a lot of time, Jivtesh, and it will result into a very unhygienic condition around you. Okay? Yes. Next. Why is damage to the ozone layer a cause of concern? What are its causes, and what steps are being taken to limit this damage? Yes, tell me.
Ma'am, first of all, the ozone layer prevents UV rays from entering, and UV rays are like harmful to humans. They can cause skin cancer and problems like that. Causes uh, Causes for damage are CFCs, as I said, chlorofluorocarbons. found in refrigerators, fire extinguishers, etc. And there was some UN resolution in 19, I'm not sure, 86 or something, to limit the use of CFCs, ban it at the, the usage of it.
Okay, yes, exactly. So the same thing that we discussed, damage to ozone layer is a cause of concern because the ozone layer shields the surface of the earth from harmful UV rays from the sun, which can cause skin cancer in humans. So CFCs are being used in refrigerators and fire extinguishers, which are the main cause of its depletion. So like many developing and developed countries have signed and they're obeying the directions of UNEP, that is United Nations Environment Program, to freeze or limit the production and usage of CFCs. Okay, question number 4. DDT was sprayed in a lake to regulate breeding of mosquitoes. How would it affect the trophic level in the following food chain associated with the lake? Justify your answer. First of all, find out the full form of DDT and tell me what is the full form of DDT.
Ma'am, it's dichlor. Oh, sorry, if you're going in.
Dichloro, diphenyl, or trichloroethane.
Okay, what is it?
So it's like a pesticide which is sprayed on the lake to kill the
Yes,
mosquito.
yes. So you should all learn the full form of DDT. Okay, you should know it, right? DDT. Write it in your notebook or in your book, whatever you have right now with you. Write the full form of DDT. Let me know when you are done. And also, who can tell me the answer of this question?
Mom, can I tell?
Have you written the full form?
Writing. It's because it's a big word.
Write it down first.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you have two questions in this. Let me show you the two questions. It's the option basically. 1 second. One second, huh? Okay, do the first question first because it is moving on to the next page. So read the first question and tell me the answer of it. Then I will move with the next question. Yes, Jiftesh.
Ma'am, so for that DDT question, so it will the energy will be transferred less, the 10% less energy will be transferred, but then the accumulation of pesticides will increase, though it will decrease the amount of bacteria, but then the harmful chemicals will indirectly reach to the humans, which might severely affect their health.
Again, because it is non-biodegradable, it is not going to degrade. So it is going to accumulate. So biological magnification. So you can see the answer. See, read it. Why I want to show you the answer so that you know what you have to write it. And here they have given the marks also for every point. Like they are actually telling you that for each point, if you write it like this, how much you are going to get. Okay, how many marks you are going to get this way. So it's actually the answer is from the marking scheme provided by the CBSE for this particular question. So they have allotted the marks, right? So if you write it like this, you are going to get half mark. For this, 1 mark, and for this, you are getting again half mark.
If you don't mind, can you show the pyramid once?
Yeah, okay. 1 second. This one?
You haven't scrolled up, so I can't tell. Oh, okay, yes, this one. Yeah.
Are you drawing it in your notebook?
I'm just writing the levels of each trophic level.
Okay, good. Write it down.
Ma'am, in this pyramid, the beginning of the pesticide is from the second level. So, if any organism, say microbe, is in the first level with the aquatic environment, then he's not gonna face any problem if he is not coming in contact with any of the rest of the members in the pyramid.
I didn't get your question. What you are
Like
saying?
uh, like if any microbe is present in the first tropic level in the aquatic environment, and in the second level is where the it begins to like the beginning of the pesticides. So if that microbe is not coming in contact with the second, followed by third and fourth and fifth, so the chances are he is not gonna get infected or attacked by the pesticides. No.
No, it will be getting affected by it also. Like in the aquatic environment, if there are organisms present, so they are also getting affected by the this pesticide. Okay, they are also getting affected by it, and then it is going level by level, transferring from every level. It is getting, they will be getting affected because it is non-biodegradable. Okay. So I hope everybody has done this first question and you all are clear with the answer. I have shown you the answer. See the answer. Okay. See the answer how they have written. DDT being a non-biodegradable pesticide will enter the food chain, and the non-biodegradable pesticides accumulate progressively at each trophic level, and this is known as biological magnification. Oak will have the highest level of pesticide. Okay. Now, please read this second question, this the question which is the or option. Please read it very carefully, okay? I can do one thing, I can shift this question to the next page so that it's easy for you to read.
Mom, can you go back to the previous answer, please?
Where?
Previous
Here?
answer. Previous answer.
Previous answer,
Yeah.
as in third.
The answer, the fourth answer.
Oh, okay. 1 second. Here it is. I'll just highlight it also. This you are saying?
Yes, mom.
Ma'am, will you be sending this one on the WhatsApp group?
Yeah, sure. I have not, like I told you now, I have done it till 2021 only. So I have to go till 2015. So I'm still working on it. I'm compiling it right now. Okay, it's not complete. It's not complete. I've started today only. So I want to compile it and then I will send it to you, right?
Mom, did
Okay.
you send the sample paper for reproduction and heredity chapter?
Yeah, I have made it. I just have to send it to you. I have
Okay.
made it for heredity also, and I have made it for how do organisms reproduce also. I just have to send it to you. So I think I will send it all the 3 chapter sample paper together. Okay. So let me complete this and then I will send you all the 3 combined sample papers together. Fine. Yeah. Shivansh, I hope you have done it.
Yes, mom. Done.
So see this question now. This question. Read this question. Carefully see the question. In the following food chain, vertical arrows indicate the energy lost to the environment and horizontal arrows indicate energy transfer to the next trophic level. Which one of the 3 vertical arrows, that is A, C, and E, and which one of the 2 horizontal arrows, B and D, will represent more energy transfer? Give reason for your answer.
And in the chat box, right?
Sorry,
Answer in the chat box, right?
you have answered in the chat box.
I'm asking, should we?
Oh, yes, you can. You may. Okay. Jiftesh has replied. Okay, so Jiftesh, you have to answer for both, for vertical arrows also and for horizontal arrows also.
Okay, so I have already replied for the horizontal one.
Yeah, I got it.
I'm not getting this. Like, how will they lose it to the environment?
As heat.
Oh,
Okay, I told you na. Like the energy gets lost into the environment as heat. Okay, who has replied? Navda. Out of AC. Okay, Navda. And who else has replied? For vertical, it is okay. Jiftesh has replied. I hope you are not seeing the answer from the internet. Don't see it because it's only for your self assessment, right? Nobody is judging you. It does not have marks. So apply your own reasoning to the question. And this is the last question. After this, we will end the class. Okay. So please reply. Navda has replied, Jiftesh has replied, Garvit has not, and Shivansh has also not replied. Okay, I have got one message. Okay. Who else? Quickly tell me, Garvit, you are left. Okay. Should I tell?
for like vertical arrows.
They're
Like
actually
the
asking you the level which is representing the more energy transfer out of
so
both.
in B and D, arrow B will give away
Oh,
more energy.
okay. And in vertical?
Vertical. I'm not sure about vertical. I guess E.
Okay. Now see the answer. You are right. A will represent more energy transfer as compared to C and E. B will represent more energy transfer as compared to D. The first level will be having the highest energy out of all those levels. So it is going to transfer more energy as compared to the rest of the levels. Okay. So when green plants are eaten by primary consumers, a great deal of energy is lost as heat to the environment at the first level only. Okay. And some of it, as I told you, goes in performing the cellular respiration, in digestion, rest of the activities, right? Then an average of 10% of food eaten is made available for the next level of consumer. The loss of energy takes place at every trophic level, but the starting point, the first of the level would be having the highest level, right? Highest level of the energy transfer at the first level only. So out of, if we talk about the vertical arrows, which are indicating the loss of heat the loss of energy in the form of heat. So the word out of A, C, and E. A is actually showing the what? More energy transfer. If you talk out of B and D, then because B is at the first level, so B is showing the more energy transfer as compared to D. Got it? Right?
Yes, ma'am.
So that's it. There are many other questions. Like as I told you, it is still 2021. Okay, there are some more questions also. So I would be sharing the same file with you in the WhatsApp group. But then your task is that you have to go through the sample papers thoroughly. Okay, so now we'll be meeting next Friday. And which chapter do you want us to revise first? Tell me.
First chapter, life process.
Life processes. Okay, so for that you all have to be thorough with life process chapter from NCERT. I would be taking the oral assessment and then we would be discussing the, just read the sample paper question also. For that I have sent you already. Okay, so read the sample paper question, read the textbook thoroughly. I will be taking the oral assessment of life processes in the next class, and we'll be discussing important questions related to that chapter. Okay, fine. So
Yes,
thank you so much. Let's meet next Friday now. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye bye. Take care, everybody.
Bye.